Take a deep breath. Prepare yourself. Because this is the dumbest video I've ever made. Are you ready? Alright. Let's go. Five Nights at Freddy's has always been a story about Michael Afton. Throughout every game, we follow him on his journey to avenge the dead and stop his father. Except the time when we don't. Enter FNAF 2. All the way up until the 6th night, we play as a man named Jeremy Fitzgerald. You probably already know that by now. Probably also know what happens to him.
The bite of 87?
But what about after that? Is that the end for Jeremy? Is the bite of 87 just a footnote in the story, with the bite of 83 being the only one to matter? Is the reuse of his name in Pizzeria Simulator and Help Wanted just a coincidence? I don't think so. See, I think there's something a lot bigger going on. You're just gonna have to hear me out. I think that Jeremy Fitzgerald is the Midnight Motorist. Let me explain. Now, it's already been established by the great theorists before me that every Pizzeria Simulator minigame, with maybe the exception of Midnight Motorist, follows a victim of William Afton. I don't think Midnight Motorist is an exception. I think the orange guy is Jeremy Fitzgerald, father of Jeremy Fitzgerald Jr., who goes on to possess Bonnie. We know Bonnie's name is Jeremy, thanks to matching up the FNAF 3 ending with completion-ending gravestones, and I think Midnight Motorist follows Jeremy Sr., who we'll just refer to as Jerma, going out cruising while just a little bit intoxicated. Now, he's already got a criminal record for drunk driving, so he's declined entry to his favorite bar, and by this point he's a raging alcoholic, possibly related to the grave-like lump in his yard. We don't know, but on another day previously, he ran over, like, some dog or something. Who cares? He goes home and finds out Jeremy Jr. snuck out to go to Freddy's. Jerma plans to punish him severely when he gets home, but unfortunately, Jeremy Jr. never returns, because Jeremy Jr. was killed by William Afton. Jerma, wrought with grief, spends 2 years mourning and growing as a person before returning to Freddy's to find out what happened to his missing son. Now, because he has a record as a drunk driver, during his first week, he gets attacked by the toy animatronics, but manages to survive. Eventually, he gets switched over to the day shift because it's safer, but Mangle, haunted by the dog he ran over, Susie's dog, removes his frontal lobe in the bite of 87. So, is all I'm saying that Jerma is the Midnight Motorist and that in Midnight Motorist he runs over the dog? No. I think there's a little more than that. See, I've always found it a little odd that the only dead human, with the exception of Phone Guy, but I'll probably talk about him in another video, who can't be directly tied to an animatronic or other spirit, despite dying in Freddy's to an animatronic, is Jerma? Well, I think he can. Specifically, I think he's Old Man Consequences. See, we gotta remember, Old Man Consequences' first appearance is in FNAF World, which takes place roughly around FNAF 3. By this point in the timeline, every spirit who would encourage someone else to move on and let go are either tied up in other business, with Charlie busy and Happiest Day, or not dead yet, being Henry and Michael. And in addition, there's only 3 adult men we know of in the franchise. Henry, Phone Guy, Jerma. Henry's still alive, Phone Guy's probably Phantom Freddy or something. But Jerma is kind of unique out of the dead characters in that his death was something that was entirely accidental. It was a freak malfunction. He has no reason to hold a grudge, especially because it's the consequences of his own actions. Instead, it makes a little more sense for him as the adult among the spirits to be the one who encourages them to go on, move on to the afterlife, with his pond serving as a gateway to that next life. It fits in a lot of ways with one of FNAF's recurring themes. Reunion of family. Afton loses his mind trying to get his children back. Henry sacrifices himself to set his daughter free, and Jeremy is the third aspect of that, a regretful mourning father seeking redemption. But is all the evidence I have circumstantial about what makes a better story? Do I just think all of these characters have to fit together to match up loose ends? No. I think there's a little more than that, because there's one thing hiding in plain sight connecting the spirit and Bonnie, the second Jeremy, to the bite victim. Withered Bonnie is missing his face. And, of course, FNAF 2 takes place pre-bite, and that doesn't necessarily mean anything directly, but I think it's foreshadowing. I think it's a way of foreshadowing the connection between the two Jeremys. And, where's Jeremy from Help Wanted go? Honestly, I think Jeremy losing his face in Help Wanted is just a reference to the bite, but I don't know, maybe in FNAF 11, Jerma will get like a frontal lobe transplant from Jeremy the Third and wake up from his coma. Who knows, who cares? That's just a theory. Wrong show. I hope you enjoyed the most horrible FNAF theory I came up with. I came up with this in England on a bus when I was really bored. So yeah, I also wrote the script in an hour on that bus. So don't judge it too hard, okay? I was jet lagged. I was jet lagged.